7 Levels of Female Desire, from Curiosity to Obsession. Machiavellian Dark Psychology. Machiavellian Quote and Introduction. Rewritten. Desire is never born in noise. It grows quietly where no one is watching. Before she ever reached for you, she had already wanted you. Before she wanted you, she had already watched you. And before she watched you, something inside her had already shifted. Feminine desire does not begin in the flesh. It begins in the mind, in imagination, in the glance that stays just long enough to cross an invisible boundary. It lives in silence, the kind of silence where curiosity first learns how to breathe. A woman notices you long before she admits it, even to herself. She feels first. Understanding comes later. She studies you quietly, the way you move through space, the rhythm of your breath, the calm or tension hidden behind your voice. Every pause you hold, every moment of restraint, every word you choose not to say. She collects these details and stores them deep in her mind. When a man carries true presence, the feminine does not respond verbally. She responds energetically, because a woman's desire is not visible. It is felt. It grows slowly. It feeds on absence. It expands in the space between what is spoken and what is withheld. Most men make the same mistake. They believe desire begins with touch. But touch only activates what her imagination has already constructed in silence. She does not desire the body first. She desires the mystery behind it, the calm behind your eyes, the meaning behind what you refuse to explain. She desires the tension you carry without needing validation. A woman desires what she cannot fully define. That is why the predictable man fades from memory. Desire is not born from comfort. It is born from uncertainty. From the quiet thrill of not knowing what you feel, yet sensing that somehow you already know what she feels. Female desire is fire beneath ice. It burns unseen. She does not chase. She does not explain. She observes. And every silence, every absence, every controlled pause becomes meaning in her internal world. A woman does not desire with her body. She desires with time. That is why impatience awakens nothing but shallow curiosity. But the man who moves with calm certainty, who speaks little yet radiates command, he plants fascination. And fascination is where desire truly begins. Before we continue, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from? And how old are you? Because this channel is for men who understand one truth. Real power is not in touch. It is in the energy that exists before it. Subscribe if you are ready to study what few men dare to understand: the feminine mind and masculine mastery. Level 1. Curiosity. Rewritten. Everything begins the moment she becomes aware of you. Not desire, not attraction, only awareness. A silent recognition that a different presence has entered her field. Something shifts inside her so subtly that even she doesn't notice it happening. Female curiosity is like a distant lighthouse. It doesn't illuminate everything. It simply reveals the outline of something unknown. She begins to observe without intention, without urgency, without strategy. She watches when you are not watching her. She listens to how you speak, not what you say. She notices how you carry yourself among others, the steadiness in your movements, the comfort you have with silence. And in that quiet observation, something within her starts to awaken. A faint magnetic pull between her thoughts and your presence. Because a woman does not desire what she fully understands, she desires what intrigues her. Curiosity is the first movement of that intrigue. She doesn't want you yet. She simply realizes that she could. At this stage, you are not a man in her mind. You are a possibility, an idea with texture, with rhythm, with weight. She remembers details you would never think mattered. How you hold a glass, how you lean forward when someone speaks, how you seem completely at ease doing nothing at all. Her body remains calm, but her mind has already begun construction. And once a woman's mind begins to build, time does the rest. Curiosity is the moment she allows you into her private inner world. She doesn't choose to feel. She simply feels. And whatever begins without conscious intention is often what she can no longer control. The wise man understands this level. He knows feminine desire does not grow from pressure. It grows from space. That is why the silence of the right man speaks louder than the words of the wrong one. She is not desiring you yet. But if she has noticed you, the seed is already planted. And if you do not rush, if you allow her curiosity to breathe, it will grow on its own. Level 2. Interest. Rewritten. Curiosity becomes interest the moment she realizes one dangerous truth. She is thinking about you without choosing to. What once was distant observation now turns into quiet attention. Her eyes begin to search even when she pretends not to care. Her mind returns again and again to the moment she first noticed you. She still acts composed, still controlled, still calm on the surface. But inside, something has shifted. Female interest is never loud. It is woven silently like a spider web formed in the dark. She does not chase. She allows. She allows her gaze to linger a second longer than necessary. She allows her smile to remain just past its natural ending. She allows your name to surface in her thoughts without reason or logic. At this stage, she begins looking for confirmation. Not directly, never openly, but instinctively. She wonders if you noticed her, if you felt the same invisible current pass between you. But the feminine does not ask questions. She creates moments. She appears where you usually are. She positions herself within your line of sight. She drops a comment only you would understand. Her words stay neutral, but her eyes speak clearly. Now the body begins to follow the mind. Her heartbeat changes when you are near. Her breathing becomes less steady. Her eyes betray her intention even when her voice does not. Interest is the first physical echo of desire. Her body reveals what her mind is still trying to deny. The hair adjustment, the subtle shift in posture, the unconscious touch of her lips or glass. Small gestures, automatic, uncontrolled. Each one whispers the same message. You are affecting me. Yet even here she retreats. Because interest exists at the border between instinct and reason. She wants, but she is still convincing herself that she doesn't. She feels, but she defends herself from the feeling. And here lies the turning point. This fragile contradiction is where a man either loses everything or awakens something irreversible. The ordinary man reacts immediately. He grows eager, he rushes, he compliments, he exposes his intent, and the rhythm breaks. Mystery disappears, interest collapses. But the lucid man does the opposite. He maintains his pace, he keeps his calm, he protects his silence. He does not reveal, he does not chase, he does not hurry. He allows her to discover on her own what is happening inside her. And this is how interest becomes fascination. A woman does not fall when desire is returned too easily. She falls when she cannot fully understand what she is feeling. Because the unknown feeds desire, and the man who can remain grounded inside the unknown, without fear, without urgency, is the man she cannot erase from her memory. If you have ever noticed a woman begin to look at you differently, a look she tries to hide but never fully can, that is the moment reason begins to lose control. And from here, the mind takes over. Level 3. Fantasy and mental desire, rewritten. Everything that began as curiosity and matured into interest now enters its most dangerous territory, the mind. Because unlike a man, a woman's desire does not start with touch. It starts with the idea of touch. This is where imagination takes command, where thought begins to create what reality has not yet delivered. She builds silent scenes, moments that may never happen, yet powerful enough to feed her desire. She imagines your voice closer, the space between you shrinking, your breathing aligning with hers. She imagines the tension, the eye contact, the closeness without contact. This is mental desire, the most potent form of all, because the body remains still. But the mind has already surrendered, and eventually the body obeys the mind. Now she begins noticing reminders everywhere, a scent in the air, a song playing unexpectedly, a certain hour of the day. Every detail becomes a trigger, a quiet echo of your presence. At this stage, she no longer desires the man standing in front of her. She desires the man she has created internally. And that man is calm, mysterious, unshaken. He understands her without asking. He sees her without needing explanation. Fantasy is sacred ground. It is where the feminine projects her ideal masculine. From this moment forward, every real interaction is measured against the image she has already formed. This is why the wise man never rushes. He knows that once she has imagined him, connection has already begun. Because desire thrives in absence. Absence gives imagination space to expand. Fantasy is delicate and dangerous because the man has done nothing yet. But he already lives inside her thoughts, and once a man enters a woman's mind, he no longer needs touch to be felt. Her body already recognizes him. Mental desire is invisible, but once rooted, it is the hardest to extinguish. And from here, the mind can no longer protect itself, because the body is about to awaken. Level 4. Temptation. Rewritten. Temptation begins the moment fantasy starts asking for confirmation. Until now, everything lived safely inside her mind. Thoughts, images, imagined moments. But temptation is different. Temptation is the bridge between imagination and reality. This is where desire becomes restless. She no longer wants to just think about you. She wants to feel the tension in real time. She wants proof. Not proof that you want her, but proof that you can remain calm while she wants you. This is the phase where she tests, subtly, indirectly, almost playfully. She pushes the boundary just enough to see how you respond. A look held slightly longer. A comment with double meaning. A step closer than before. She may tease, challenge, create small moments of friction, not to provoke reaction, but to measure control. Female temptation is not seduction, it is examination. She is asking one silent question. Can this man handle desire without losing himself? Because many men fail here. They feel the heat and rush toward it. They mistake temptation for permission. They mistake signals for surrender. And the moment they chase, the moment they lean in too fast, the spell breaks. Temptation collapses when a man becomes predictable. But the grounded man does something rare. He stays composed. He acknowledges the tension without feeding it. He allows the moment to exist, without needing to resolve it. He does not escalate. He does not retreat. He simply remains. And that is what confuses her. Because temptation thrives on resistance. The more controlled you remain, the more powerful the pull becomes. Now her body is awake. Her nervous system responds to your presence. Her senses sharpen when you enter the space. She becomes more aware of her voice, her posture, her proximity to you. Temptation is the phase where desire becomes conscious. She knows she wants you, but she is unsure if she should. And that internal conflict creates intensity because desire feels strongest when it is not yet allowed. This is where polarity is formed, the masculine grounded in control, the feminine charged with anticipation. If you remain steady here, if you do not collapse into need, you move into the next level, not attraction, Power. Level 5, control and power. Rewritten. Control is the moment she realizes something unsettling. She is no longer leading the emotional rhythm. Up until now, she believed she was in control of her interest, of her reactions, of her desire. But suddenly, she is responding. Her mood shifts based on your presence. Her attention drifts toward you without permission. And the most dangerous realization arrives. You are not trying. You are not persuading. You are not chasing. You are not adjusting yourself to please her. And that is power. Because the man who does not seek control often holds it. At this level, she becomes aware of imbalance. You affect her more than she affects you. And polarity sharpens. She begins to notice absence. When you are not there, the space feels different, quieter, less charged. She notices when you don't message, when you don't linger, when you leave first. And instead of feeling rejected, she feels curious, because control does not announce itself, it is felt through contrast. Now she begins to pursue, but indirectly. She asks questions that don't seem like questions. She brings up shared moments. She creates reasons to reconnect, all while pretending she is indifferent. This is not weakness, this is instinct. A woman moves toward what feels grounded and unshakable. At this stage, desire has transformed. It is no longer about attraction, it is about orientation. Her emotional compass is adjusting, and she wants to know, if I lean in, will he remain steady? This is where many men self-destruct. They sense control and try to exploit it. They grow dominant too fast, cold, manipulative, and she withdraws. True control is quiet, it is restraint, consistency, emotional neutrality. The man who holds power does not tighten his grip, he loosens it. Because the feminine moves freely only when it feels safe inside structure. And when she feels that safety, that calm authority, desire deepens, not excited, focused. From here, the wanting becomes personal. Level 6, hunger and possession, rewritten. Hunger begins when desire stops asking for permission. Up until now, she was curious, interested, mentally involved. But hunger is different. Hunger is urgency wrapped in restraint. She feels a pull she can no longer ignore, and resisting it only makes it stronger. This is the phase where absence becomes painful. When you are not present, her mind fills the space you leave behind. She replays conversations, reconstructs moments, revisits the tension again and again, not consciously, instinctively. Hunger is not about wanting your body, it is about wanting access. Access to your attention, your time, your emotional presence. She wants to be chosen, not openly, not verbally, but deeply. She becomes more sensitive to distance. If you pull back slightly, she notices. If you delay, she feels it. And instead of losing interest, she leans forward. This is possession forming, not ownership of you, but a desire to secure her place in your world. She begins to reveal more. Personal stories, vulnerabilities, emotional signals she once guarded carefully. Because hunger pushes the feminine to bond. But here lies danger. Many men collapse at this stage. They mistake hunger for completion. They overgive, they lose structure, they center their world around her, and the polarity dissolves. The grounded man does the opposite. He remains consistent, he remains calm, he does not overreact to closeness. He allows intimacy without dependency. Because hunger intensifies when stability remains untouched. She wants to feel you are solid, with or without her, and when she senses that, her desire sharpens. Hunger is no longer playful, it is focused. She wants depth, connection, certainty, and when she cannot fully possess you emotionally, the final stage awakens. Level 7, obsession, rewritten. Obsession is not madness, It is fixation born from meaning. A woman becomes obsessed not with a man who chases her, but with a man who remains whole without her. At this stage, you are no longer an option. You are a reference point. Her emotional state measures itself against your presence. When things go well, she wants to share it with you. When things go wrong, she thinks of you. Your calm becomes regulation. Your absence becomes noticeable. Obsession does not look dramatic on the outside. It looks quiet. She doesn't text constantly. She doesn't beg. She doesn't demand. She orients. Her decisions begin to consider you. Her future scenarios include you, even when she hasn't admitted it aloud. This is where attachment forms. But obsession is fragile. It must never be fed with insecurity. The moment a man seeks reassurance, the moment he asks for validation, the structure collapses, because obsession thrives on respect, and respect is born from self-command. The man she obsesses over is not perfect. He is centered. He has direction beyond her, purpose beyond desire, control beyond emotion. She feels safe orbiting a man who is not orbiting her. And here lies the final truth. Obsession is not created by effort, it is created by absence of need. A woman obsesses over what she cannot dominate emotionally, and she bonds with what feels unshakable. But obsession is not the goal. It is a byproduct. The man who chases obsession loses it. The man who remains grounded attracts it naturally. Final Stoic truth. The end of desire. Here is what most men never understand. Female desire is not linear. It is responsive. It does not grow because you try harder. It grows because you remain centered under pressure. Desire begins in curiosity and ends in orientation. But the man who wins is not the man she desires most. It is the man who never abandons himself to be desired. Stoicism teaches one brutal truth. Attachment is power given away. The masculine path is mastery of self, not mastery of others. When you become calm in uncertainty, disciplined in silence, focused in chaos, you stop chasing desire, and desire begins to follow you, not because you asked for it, but because it recognized strength. Remember this. A woman does not fall for intensity. She falls for stability. She does not crave attention. She craves presence. And she does not desire what is easy to possess. She desires what feels grounded, rare, and self-contained. If you understood this series, you no longer need techniques. You need alignment. Closing CTA. YouTube ready. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. Here we don't teach manipulation. We teach self-mastery, clarity, and masculine discipline. Comment below. Which level did you recognize most clearly? Curiosity or obsession? And remember, the strongest man is not desired because he wants to be. He is desired because he knows who he is.